Monday. Before I start my book reading for today, I hear a lot of people complain about Monday. You know, they're coming from a weekend, enjoying some time, friends, family, whatever, just chilling, having some me time. And when Monday comes, they look at it with kind of negativity because they have to go back to work, go back to being serious and stuff like that. See, the way I see Monday and every day, but especially Monday, is a blessing. I love Monday because Monday is another day, another chance. So that's how we should be like looking at things from now on. Today's book is called Free to Focus. It's basically about how you can achieve more by doing less. Productivity is not about getting more things done. 21st century workers are the most distracted in history. You know, if you look back in the days, let's talk about people who used to like build, the Romans, the old like Egyptian, our old ancestors. They did not really have a lot of distraction. They did not have a lot of technology as our time. But they had one thing which is really important. They had an aim, a goal they want to achieve. I want to get from point A to point B, no matter what it takes me. No matter how many times I'm gonna fail or how many attempt I'm gonna do or what kind of attempt. They will keep on until they do it and they achieve it, and better than anybody nowadays. They did not have distraction. They had focus. Study after study shows that people are hardly committed to work for the entire 8 hours. They stay in the office. One study of UK and Canadian workers reports that employees work an average of 1.5 to 2.5 hours out of the 8 they are supposed to be working. Let me ask you a question. How many hours you work a day? Let's say 7 hours or 8 hours. The real question is, how many hours are you actually working in the 8? Think about it. The numbers are indeed staggering. And it's not only true for employees. Business owners and self-employed people also struggle to stay positive, productive. It's not even that we've disengaged with work. A good number of us love the work we do. We're passionate and proficient, just too distracted by emails, phone calls, Slack messages, data feeds, and the likes. We try to get around this productivity problem by Googling tips and hacks and investing in productivity solutions. These tactics help, except they aren't sustainable. If you're honest, you'll probably admit to trying several productivity hacks that don't work. Now, Michael Hyatt was in your shoes several years ago. After he rose to the position of CEO at Thomas Nelson, Michael found that he was splitting himself between too many tasks. He was doing so many different things in a day that he almost always ended up drained and exhausted after work. He tried productivity apps and tricks, but they didn't help much. This made him start studying the subject of productivity for himself. He created a blog where he shared ideas he got along the way with his readers. Soon, he was being known more as a productivity expert than the CEO of a company. Michael distilled his years of learning and personal experience into a 3-step productivity system. And that's what you're about to learn in this summary. You're gonna learn today. All right. The first step is to stop and decide what you want, then create an action plan. You need to know what you want first. Step 2 is cutting out unnecessary work and focusing on work that inspires you. Step 2 is cutting out unnecessary work and focusing on work that inspires you. Finally, step 3 is where you take action. If you're down on productivity, the solution is not to work more, but to pull back and re-strategize. Don't worry. We will go through all steps in this summary. But first, a disclaimer. This summary may rubbish everything you think you know about being productive. So get ready for it. Did you know research shows we get interrupted or distracted every 3 minutes on average? Every 3 minutes. Just got interrupted. The secret to winning the productivity game is to have a clear vision for your work life. There is an old statement that is often referenced by some productivity experts and work-life balance advocates. The statement was made popular by American Rabbi Harold Kushner, and it's often attributed to former US Senator Paul Tsongas. You've heard it before. It says, nobody on his deathbed ever said, I wish I had spent more time at the office. So true. The statement may be true for some people, but you can't just generalize it. Work constitutes a major part of our lives. Yes, some people go to work just because they have to pay the bills, but some others are excited about work. They're happy when they get up in the morning because a new day is another chance for them to make a dent in the universe through their work. This category of people don't regret spending time at work. And no, they don't have to be Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or another famous inventor/creator. They are salespeople, writers, lawyers, accountants, etc., who are happy with the work they do. They cherish their profession because it's a vehicle for helping someone achieve something. The difference between these people and those who hate their jobs is the difference between productivity and on an inspiring job and fake work on a job you dislike. I read a book by Khalil Gibran, a Lebanese poet, called The Prophet. And he said, if you do not work with love, it's better for you to sit next to a temple and ask alms from people who work with love. If you're building a house, you have to build the house as if your beloved one is gonna be living in it. There's a difference between making a painting because you wanna make money and putting your soul in this painting because you are enjoying every little step, every little stroke of the brush in it. There's a difference between composing music because you're trying to make money, and you're looking at it as a work, as a job to pay the bills, and composing this music because there's a piece of your soul, piece from your heart you put in it. A good chunk of employees are disengaged with work, but this shouldn't be so. You're wasting your time, and by extension, your employer's time, working on a job you don't like. You may be on a job you hate because circumstances have you there, maybe because it pays the bills, but let that be a temporary arrangement. Create an exit plan and start working on it as soon as possible. I'm not asking you, neither the author is asking you to leave your job, even if you don't like it. Try to create an exit plan, something on the side. It might start as a hobby, something for fun, and then you build it little by little, little by little. Then you can get out of your job, the one that you don't like. Because if you think about it, when you spend, how many hours you spend of your life working? A lot of hours. And even if you work 7, 8 hours or 10 hours a day, a shift, how many hours actually you are working out of these 8? Probably 3 or 4 hours maximum. Your time on earth is limited. So don't spend it working on a job you dislike. Work when you feel you're not working. When you feel what you're doing, you are enjoying, you have passion for it. For example, you like to sing, be a singer. Let be this your work, your job. What if you're doing work you like, but it's encroaching into your nights and weekends? You may need to create a prevention system around it if your goal isn't to work long hours every week. Start by creating a vision of your ideal work week. How many hours would you like to spend on work? How will you spend your ideal 24 hours? How many of them will go for self-time, family time, recreation, work, and play? How about your weekends? Create this ideal timeline and keep it where you can see it. You may not have the resources to make it happen now, but let it become something you're working towards. There are 4 different zones of work. Contrary to what many people think, productivity is not all about doing more. Productivity is not all about doing more. In fact, it's the opposite. The productivity means getting the right things done and leaving everything else. This may sound hard to believe, but as we proceed with this summary, you will understand more and realize just how true it is. Let's consider the 4 zones of productivity. It will give you better insight. We will begin with the zone we all hate. Zone 4. This is called the drudgery zone. This zone is made up of tasks that you hate doing and can't do well. In other words, you lack the passion and proficiency for these tasks. Can you name some daily tasks in your drudgery zone? If you think hard, you probably will. The good news is, what's grunt work for you is exciting work for someone else. That's why division of labor works. Zone 3, we call it the disinterest zone. Tasks in this zone are things you're good at but have zero passion for. People can get stuck working in this zone simply because it pays the bills. Zone 2, the distraction zone. Work starts to get interesting here. In this zone, you're passionate about your work. You can do it all day without getting tired, but you're not skilled at it. Because you lack proficiency, it becomes hard to make worthy contributions through your work. But of course, if you're in this zone, you can spend money and time to get more skills so you can transition to zone 1, which is the best zone of all. Zone 1 is the desire zone. This is the zone where passion meets proficiency. People who work here love what they do and are able to make notable contributions to their company, their industry, and the world at large. Your goal should be to work in the desire zone, of course. For most of us, that will take some time and effort, but give it a go. Give it a go. Maybe you're working on a job you're skilled at but not passionate about. You could start thinking of changing jobs or switching tasks within the company so you get into the role where your passion and proficiency are top notch. Design your ideal life. Then tailor I thought they were fighting in the garage, but they were just messing around. I was ready to, break. Design your ideal life, then tailor your work to meet that lifestyle goal. The time and effort required to transition to zone 1, which is the desire zone, will differ depending on where you are right now. But no matter what it takes, the transition will be worth it. Be intentional about re-energizing your mind and body. Guys, we have been reading a lot of these self-growth books and very important subjects. And I do really appreciate you reading them, sharing them, listen to them again over and over. But unless you really put them, you apply them in your life, we're not doing any change. Don't just hear, listen, and please start applying them in your life. I told you many times, and I'm pretty sure most of you are not doing it still. I don't know why. Every day, any time at the day, decide, take a piece of paper and write down what you are grateful for. Pick 10 things you are grateful for and start writing them. Think positive, you will manifest positive. Imagine your life from now until like 2 years, how you want it to be, and think about it. The more you think about it, the more you think positive, the more you're gonna attract positive in your life. And if you think negative, you're gonna attract negative, and you're not gonna be optimistic. You're not gonna be even able to see everything that happened around you of good stuff. When you're on the clock, you understand how time is such a limited resource. We all know that, but what we often fail to realize is that energy is also limited. You are not energized all the time throughout the day. Some people are more energized and they feel more productive early in the morning, some at night. We are not. Our energy is limited as well. Right now, me, as I'm reading this book, I'm talking to you guys, it takes a lot from my energy. And you need to recharge, you need to rest, you need to eat, maybe listen to music. We cannot be going like 24/7. Your energy can flex. That is, you can switch between energy levels quite easily, but it's still a limited resource. You don't have infinite amounts of emotional, mental, and physical energy.
Who's better than you, my
So taking steps to conserve what you have is a wise thing to do. Are you intentional about conserving and renewing your energy, or do you just take whatever you see because there is no time? In the distracted economy, people run around getting things done on the clock, failing to rest and re-energize. Then they burn out and take sick leave, only to repeat the same vicious cycle over again. This explains why our productivity rarely matches the hours we clock in. Don't sacrifice your body and mind on the altar of work, because it will turn back to haunt you. What if you created a holistic system that ensures you work when you need to work and unplug to re-energize when you need to? What would that mean for your personal and professional life? Surely, among other things, it will mean getting quality work done for the time plugged in and having more personal time. Isn't that what we all want? Well, here's how to achieve it. Get intentional about the following 7 practices. If you have to write it, but I don't advise you to write it. This way you can listen to it again. Get quality sleep every night. I'm pretty sure none of us, sometimes we might get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, but I'm pretty sure none of us are getting quality sleep every night. I doubt it. And if you do, good for you. Experts recommend sleeping 8 hours per night. Try not to fall short of that. Number 2, eat healthy. If you need to see a dietitian for recommendations, do it. Number 3, move your body. Create a weekly exercise regimen and stick to it. Number 4, connect with family and friends daily and weekly. Connect with family and friends daily and weekly. Number 5, play. Engage regularly in your hobbies. Don't push them to the back burner. Engage in the hobby that you like. You like to sing, sing. You like to dance, dance. You like to draw, draw. Play an instrument. And number 6, reflect daily. You can do this through meditation, writing, or worshiping. Finally, unplug. Life is not all about work. Find time at least once a year to just unplug from work and enjoy life. We work to live, but we don't live to work. There's a big difference. Practice saying no. We have an inherent desire to help others and contribute to important projects. Now, this can be both a curse and a blessing, depending on how we use it. People will come to you directly or indirectly for help, and if you're not careful, you will keep saying yes till you fill your hands with too much than you can handle. You must learn to say no. It's not up for debate if your goal is to be a super performer who excels in every area of life. Not every request deserves your yes. Believe it. Did you cringe at the thought of turning down requests? That's a completely normal reaction from your mind. You might even feel guilty for saying no to people, and that's a natural feeling too, but you must grow past it. Because we're always saying no without realizing it. For every yes you say, there is a no behind it. For every request you accept, you're turning down another. Let's imagine a potential client asks you out for lunch on the same day you're supposed to be at your daughter's dancing competition. Saying yes to the client means saying no to attending your daughter's event. Always consider the trade-off before accepting invitations and requests. How many times you went with your friend somewhere and you did not feel it? Use this affirmation strategy for turning down requests you can afford to accept. First, say yes to yourself and everything important to you. Also, affirm the other person so they don't feel shame for requesting. Second, say no to the request. Make it clear that you can't do it now or any other time. Third, say yes again. Not yes to the request, but yes to your relationship. Affirm your relationship with the person and offer to help find a solution or someone else that could help. Let's say someone asked you to watch over their kids for a day. But you can't because despite working remotely, you have a tight deadline to meet that day. Using our model, you start by saying yes to yourself and the work you do. That's the only way to get the mental stamina to say no to them. Next, turn down the request by telling them about your tight deadline. And finally, you can offer to help find a babysitter. Automate your activities. Your days are filled with attention pulling requests from work, the internet, family, friends, and even strangers. You will never get anything done if you decide to pay attention to everything. A lot of people say, I can multitask, I can do many things, when in fact, you are not doing all of them. You are just doing like part of everything. If I'm reading a book right now to you and I'm doing the paperwork at the same time, I cannot be doing both at the same time and be efficient. I am putting more concentration on one task, which is I'm reading this book to you. We are talking and discussing about this book. You understand what I'm saying? If I got a customer coming, I have to stop reading the book and concentrate on the customer. So in fact, no one can multitask. You can do many things at a time, but not the whole thing. You cannot give it 100% for each task. If you think you can do 100% for each task you're doing, you're lying to yourself. And some of those things are important and urgent, such as you can't afford to postpone them. So what do you do? Find ways to automate. In this chapter, we will consider 4 automation methods you should use to make your life easier. So let's get started. Self-automation. The mind is a powerful automation tool. Some of the most effective automation machines were created by replicating how it works. Once you do something in a particular way over some time, your mind learns it and you begin to do it with little to no active thoughts. For example, if you've been using an app on your phone for a considerable length of time, your mind will teach your body to identify the position of that app on your phone. The process of finding that app will become automated. Think about it. Let's say I want to go right now to WhatsApp. First time I was using WhatsApp, I have to swipe and go. Now, my mind knows if I go like this, boom, I find WhatsApp. The same explanation goes for your morning routine. The reason you do the same thing after getting out of bed every morning is that your mind has learned how to do it and has taught your body. You wake up from the bed. You might step from the left side, right? You have the same routine. Do certain things in the morning. I don't know what are they. If you keep doing it the same way, your mind has automated the same thing. You're not gonna wake up tomorrow and move from your bed from the right side. The mind learns through routines. So to automate things, start building routines around your activities. Template automation. Every knowledge work you do template automation. Every knowledge work you do can be automated using templates. Either create templates that suit your workflow or Google to find useful ones. For example, if you're sending the same type of emails daily, you could make that into a template so you don't have to type out every email. It saves you time. I like that. Process automation. This refers to detailing the process of getting things done so you or someone on your team won't have to waste precious hours figuring things out each time they have to get the same task done. Tech automation.
Hi. 20.
Tech automation. By the way, guys, before I finish, yes, I do save all this video so you can watch the replay later on. So if you missed it from the beginning or you totally missed it, you can watch the replay. And I want to thank everybody who's watching the replay, sharing it, applying it in their life. Thank you very much. Of course, don't forget to give a like and subscribe to the channel. Tech automation. This is by far the most common automation people know. There is at least one software that can help you do your office work faster. Invest in software products to save time and energy. The secret of succeeding with tech automation is refusing to stick to just one solution. Be flexible enough to change when your current solution no longer serves your needs. High performers use mega batching to stay productive. You've probably heard of batching before. If you haven't, it's a productivity tactic where you lump the same or similar activities and get them done at the same time with no distractions. Mega batching is doing the same thing on a larger scale. You can think of this tactic as a solution to multitasking. Contrary to what we think, you know what? The funny thing, I already spoke about it. I didn't, without even getting to it in the book. It's like I already know what they're talking about because I've been reading a lot, which is really important. Contrary to what we think, the brain isn't designed to multitask. Or do we say multitask or multi? I'm not even sure. You get much more done when you're focused on one activity per time than when you try doing multiple things at a time. We think we can do it, but your brain is not designed for that. When you jump from one activity to the other in multitasking spree, the brain takes time to reconcile the new activity with the one you were doing before. Parts of the brain will therefore be split between both activities, and it becomes counterproductive if the tasks aren't similar. Use mega batching instead. Regularly decide on a group of activities that are the same or at least similar and block out time to execute them together. If you want to do more than a thing at the same time, make sure that the activities that you are doing are the same or close to each other. For example, let's say I want to do a painting, right? I love art, which I think I should be doing painting. It's been a while I did not paint anything. Maybe I can do it live. We can do like a paint night, and you can guys I'll tell you before ahead. You can buy the canvas and we can do it step by step. If you like, let me know. I can paint and I can sing at the same time. And listen to the music. Why? Painting, listen to music, and singing, to me, they're all connected. Let's say meetings are a normal part of your week. I know a lot of you have a lot of meetings, and that's like a normal part of your week. Rather than spreading your internal and external meetings throughout the week, you can decide on a day or two that will be dedicated to meetings, while other days will be so for something else. For example, Thursday and Fridays can be your meeting days, while the first 3 work days will be dedicated to working. It's too much trying to do everyday meeting and work at the same time and try to accomplish your daily tasks. But when you decide this 2 days of the week is gonna be for meeting, you can put more concentration on it and focus on just meeting, you know. We live our lives in stages. Taking inspiration from As You Like It play by William Shakespeare, Michael categorized our lives into front, back, and off stages. The front stage is where you do the work you're paid for. It's the professional part of you that the world sees. If you're a coach, for example, your front stage work is client meetings and drafting content. Then there is the backstage work. This is where you do the ground work that prepares you for the front stage. Using the coaching example, this could be billing or updating your website. Finally, there is the off stage. This is your rejuvenating time, the time you spend relaxing, connecting with friends and family, or playing. Determine the activities that fit into your front, back, and off stages, then plan your ideal week to mega batch them accordingly. What's our conclusion? The concept of productivity was made popular by industrial age efficiency experts like Frederick Winslow Taylor. The experts of that age advised companies to increase efficiency by making workers do more work faster. It worked for factory workers then because when you work faster in a factory, you naturally produce more products. But the concept is ineffective in our knowledge economy. If you're a knowledge worker, your job is not about directly working with machines to produce things. Your job mostly involves solving problems and coming up with new ideas. The problem is that problems and ideas don't run out. When you solve one problem, a different one emerges. You can be having dinner with family and an idea for a project you're working on pops into your mind. So, if you follow the efficiency metric from the industrial age, you will never stop working. Productivity in our economy is not about getting more things done faster. It's about focusing on the right things and getting them done at the right time, then cutting out other tasks that don't fit into your ideal work. It's about working in your desired zone, where your passion and proficiency are at their peak, while delegating the task outside the zone to people who are good at and passionate about them. Whenever you feel overwhelmed and unproductive, recall the 3-step system. Stop, cut, and act. Stop to think about your work and chart a course of action. Then cut out unnecessary tasks and take action. We've discussed several points under the 3-step system in this summary. Hopefully, you guys learned actionable insights that will help you make the most of your personal and professional life. Hopefully, you will listen to it again and apply it in your life. Try this. Make mega batching a weekly habit. Think of all the weekly activities you're certain to always perform. Group similar ones together, then create time to execute each group at specific stretches. Thank you very much, guys. God bless you until we meet again, if God permits, with another reading. Take care now.